Well, a good morning to you from West Tennessee. Got a busy day ahead of us, of course. It's Saturday. This is kind of our catch-up day, try to get some things done. But gonna get some feed loaded up, head up the road, check on the stocker steers will be task number one. See if we can get you the sunrise shot of the day. She's about to poke over the trees there. We'll be patient, we'll get a shot here in a few minutes. All right, so got feed buckets loaded up. Or now we got the feed buckets loaded up. Yeah, we'll go check on them boys. Got a bag of mineral as well. We'll get thrown out for them. That Gain Smart Heat mineral because, yeah, it's hot. It's summer. It's supposed to be hot though. I think going up to about 97 or so today. So, no complaints. Up. That would have been bad. We left the old coffee cup sitting there. But we caught ourselves. Now we're getting on the road. Looks like most of the gang is here. Climb up on top of the truck and see if we can, I don't scare them all off. See if we can get a little better, more accurate count of them. These boys are fed, it's still nice and cool, feels good right now. Went and got the fertilizer buggy. So, yep, got a bunch of fertilizer on there. Whew, boy, I think it's gotten a little cheaper, the price come down. I hadn't bought any since, I guess, last fall maybe, after we had planted all that creek bottom ground back in pasture, but, oh, it's high. We're gonna end up spending, I think that was enough to give about 20 acres. We're gonna be just under about $100 an acre. So I don't know if that exactly pencils out, but we wanted to get this hay ground fertilized. Another thing, you may obviously notice I'm wearing the Deer Power shirt. I'll be honest, this shirt's pretty old. I haven't worn it much in recent years just because I feel kind of like a fraud. You know, we have Kubota tractors. I guess I've had 2 different Kubota tractors now. Never really had anything John Deere. Then when we bought the baler, I did pull it out of the closet. I was like, hey, I can actually wear this. I'm not a fraud anymore. Well, maybe our big reveal for this video is I can now report we actually have Deer Power. So, never thought I'd be able to afford a John Deere tractor. Turns out I just had to find one older than me and just about old enough to join the AARP to be able to afford one. But the newest addition to the farm, the 4030 John Deere, 1973 model, I do believe. But just got it yesterday. First job it's gonna have is spreading a little fertilizer for us. So actually gonna top off the fuel and then I'll get hooked up. Fired her right on up. All right, watch out, Sadie. Don't want my first order of business with the tractor to be backing over the dog. Not sure if the fuel gauge works or not. It's showing it's pretty low. I just looked in the tank and it looked like it's dang near out. So glad I had enough to at least drive it home yesterday. They delivered it just up the road, so we didn't have to drive it far. But yeah, now fingers crossed this air conditioner blowing cold right now. But it keeps on doing that. So we're fueled up and hooked up. This tractor's not nearly as big as our Kubota. Obviously just 2-wheel drive. So still plenty big enough for no more than this is. 2 on this hay ground. It's all pretty flat, easy running. If we were spreading, you know, on more of our pasture ground where it's up and down, we would definitely appreciate just that heavier tractor with 4-wheel drive. But it's actually on the other farm hooked up to the pasture clipper bush hog. And so one of the reasons why we have been really, you know, aching for another machine. So yeah, when an opportunity presents itself to spread a little fertilizer, do something different. We're not constantly unhooking, moving, you know, hooking back up, all that sort of thing. So fingers crossed, everything keeps running as well as it is right now. And we're spreading her out. Well, I don't know if I already mentioned, one of the reasons why we went ahead and jumped on spreading some fertilizer today. Little chance of rain in the forecast tomorrow. They keep going back and forth between 40 to, I've seen as much as 70%, but it seems like by the hour they keep bouncing back and forth. So might as well say about a 50% chance of rain tomorrow. So fingers crossed we can get that and get this fertilizer in the ground. As you can see, got a fair amount of regrowth. A good bit of Johnson grass in here. Totally fine with that. For this cow hay, Johnson grass is just fine. We're totally happy to bail that up. But yeah, now we're just gonna be praying for rain, which I don't know. My brother was mad at me that I was gonna do this today. You know, being superstitious, you know, saying, yeah, you're definitely gonna scare the rain off if you go spread some fertilizer. I don't know, we'll see. There's another chance, like into the week. So surely to goodness, we don't get it tomorrow, maybe we'll get one of those chances here in another 5 or 6 days. Well, so much for things going so well with the new tractor, the new old tractor. Not getting any power. It's like we're not getting any fuel. I'm hoping it's gonna be as simple as a filter. So I think that's the first thing we're gonna do. I'm gonna see if I can find a fuel filter for it, and then fingers crossed that that does the trick. So yeah, we're just broken down right here on the side of the road. Not completely broken down, it was still running. Just, we're about to have to go up a big hill. There's no way, it had no power. So I did actually just call a parts store just up the road in town. They do have a fuel filter. So now here's sending up a prayer, fingers crossed, whatever we got to do, that's the only problem. Don't know, it's an old tractor, a lot of potentials, but that's where we're going to start, and that's where we're going to pray that we get our resolution. Well, how ironic is it that I wore the Deere Power shirt, pointed it out, talked about how excited we were to finally have some John Deere power, and now I have a John Deere that has absolutely no power. Do need to give a shout out, thank you to Aaron, who stopped and helped me for a few minutes, got me going temporarily. Then my cousin Logan does the Talk Dirt to Me podcast with me, and my uncle came. We worked on it as much as they really know how, because I didn't know how to do anything really. I got the fuel filter changed, but it's not getting good fuel for some reason. Then we'd get it cranked back up and it'd run good for just a few seconds, but pretty much we're waiting on a tow truck because yeah, it won't run long enough to do anything right now. Don't really want to try to pull it home, tow it, because with no power, I don't have brakes, don't have steering. Yeah, we would that'd be a calamity waiting to happen. But yeah, thanks to all those guys, all three of them, for helping me out. So our plan now, get a tow truck, just take it back to my house, because I'm not sure who I'm gonna be able to get to work on it. And I may even be able to get somebody to come to the house. But right now, we think it may be at the injector pump. We can get fuel. We're getting good fuel all the way to that point. And so just a process of elimination. I don't know. But frustrated still though. If they can get the problem sorted out here in the next week or two, get us up and running again, I still think we've got a pretty good machine. It was running great for about 45 minutes. So. But now we're gonna get that towed home. We towed the fertilizer buggy back to the house with my cousin's truck. He did that for me. Then I gotta borrow a tractor from them, finish getting the fertilizer off, then we'll get back home. But it's shame on me for trying to make plans. I'd already told my wife, I was like, hey, if y'all want to go eat lunch at Gus's world famous fried chicken, right around the corner from our Helena dealer, where I've got to take the buggy back to. I was like, I was spreading fertilizer at 9:30. Figured that'd take me maybe a couple hours. Be just in time for lunch, we'd be back over there. Now, it's now 10 after 1. I don't even know when the tow truck will get here. I might be lucky to get done in time for supper, but we're still gonna get to use some Deere Power after all, so shirt's not totally inappropriate. But went and borrowed 7210 from my dad and my uncle. We're hooked back up, got that old girl towed home. Shout out to Jim's Towing. They got her home safely for us. So now I just gotta line up a mechanic that can investigate that problem further than just what we've been able to do. But we're way behind schedule. It's now 2:30. We're gonna get the rest of the fertilizer off this buggy and maybe get done in time for supper. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, I'm driving this 7210 John Deere that belongs to my dad and uncle. But I really like this tractor. It means a lot to me. It was one of the first tractors I ever drove as a kid. I don't know, it's something in the mid-90s model, maybe late 90s. But when I was like in high school, I spent my summers working on the farm, and my grandfather and I would always, we did all the hay mowing, tethering, raking. My uncle did most of the baling. But when my grandfather and I would go to the hayfield with disc mowers, this was his tractor. He drove his tractor. I mean, it wasn't every day, but I mowed with the 5000 Ford. He mowed with this one. So he died my senior year of high school. But you know, those last, what, 3 or 4 years that he was alive, the last 3 summers or so, he spent on this tractor with, you know, me right there with him in the field. So got a little bit of a sentimental value in this one, maybe more so than some other tractors they have. Plus, it's just a solid tractor. You know, it doesn't have a loader. You know, it's just 2-wheel drive. But as far as for like hayfield task, it is a really great machine. But yeah, a little trip down memory lane there. I think too, this was pretty certain the first cab tractor I ever drove. Back in those days, back in the 90s, my dad and uncle weren't doing any row crop. It was all just cattle and hay. And so they only had 2 cab tractors back when I was in high school. They had this one, a 4440 John Deere. And I didn't get to drive this so much at that time. Like I say, my grandfather pretty well drove it, you know, in the hayfield. But every now and then we'd be doing something other random with it, and I'd get to drive it. So it was a treat, like, you know, after driving an open station tractor most of the time, you know, getting to get on this. And now I'm trying to think how many tractors they have now that are cabbed. You're counting the big row crop machines and the smaller, you know, kind of utility sized tractors. But yeah, getting to use this one kind of, yeah, it means a little more to me than maybe it otherwise would. Get the wheel engaged. We'll try to run out the rest of this fertilizer. Not too much left in there. Finally made it back home and got a flat tire on the Pioneer because, yeah, why wouldn't we? That tire's been going flat, so that's not like that's a surprise to me. But get that aired up, ride back here and check the cows very quickly. Grab myself a cold beverage because, I don't know, feel like I could probably use one after the day we've had. Yeah, like I said, I planned on having all that done in time to go eat some Gus's fried chicken. Said we'd probably get home in time for supper. It is 5:59 p.m. So we're gonna get these cows checked and probably be in the house just in time for supper, and hopefully to avoid a divorce because we're going over to a friend's house for dinner tonight. And I know I am going to be running behind, but luckily he also just texted me and said it's too dang hot. We're going to push it back anyway, so I'm still okay. Here's some of the cows, but a few of them, they must be crossing the creek right there. They're straggling out. There's our newest mom, which begs the question, where's the baby? Yeah, there's some more coming out of the creek over there. But of course, her calf's probably the one I most want to make sure we lay eyes on every day. But we'll get these gals checked on, and then oh, need to feed the bull. Did I update y'all on the bull this morning? I don't even know. Anyway, we're gonna go feed the bull, the injured penis bull, the infamous injured penis bull. and see how he looks. But yeah, she's been nursed. You can look at her and tell. So calf is somewhere, probably hidden, and we're probably, oh, just as I say, we're probably not going to see it. There we are, right between the two trees. Since we clipped all these weeds in this pasture, he doesn't have quite as many places to hide. Hey, little dude, what's happening, man? You good? All right. And there's the rest of them. They're all over here waiting in the shadows like they're vampires. They can't get out in the sunlight. But yeah, a few more coming around there. Got multiple mineral feeders in here because they torn them up. Gonna have to throw a bag of that Vitaferm Conceptade on the side by side. Yeah, there's a few little bits in there. I'll throw a bag in there, bring it back over here tomorrow when we ride back over to check them. And then Sadie shows up. Sadie, that's where the beer rides. Thought that was your seat. Where am I gonna put the beer if you ride there? I forgot to bring the GoPro, so too lazy to walk back to get it. So we'll film with the iPhone. Should be just fine, but you can say he looks fine. I think he is, as we like to say, finer than frog hair. Total false alarm on the penis being broken or having a penile hematoma. Pretty sure that was just an injury, like an abrasion to the penis, which, hey, I'll admit, I don't want that. It doesn't sound fun, but yeah, as far as being a devastating injury that he would have to be called for, don't think so, not at this time. I was planning on rotating pastures this morning. It's crazy how they, I don't know, I hadn't called them or said a word, just started driving out here. Yeah, that's a good sign that they're ready to rotate. But they've eaten that one down pretty good. So yeah, we're all on the same page actually this go around today. Y'all come on. Y'all come on through then. Always a few stragglers. But the mom and the new baby made it through. Those were the two that last night. Yeah, it was just the afternoon we were looking at them. Yeah, we skipped forward a night, as you may notice. Yeah, everybody was across the creek, so they'd all crossed back sometime since then. And got one more to come through there, and we'll have another pasture rotation done. Nice, pretty blooms on some of the red clover there, but fescue's still hanging out, especially in some of the wetter ground in this bottom. It's kind of that time of year here, late June, yeah, June 26th, July, here in just a few days, where fescue kind of hits that summer slump, but it's hanging in there doing pretty good. It'll feed them for a few days. So, stocker steers, the daily look at them. 45 there, 34 is the one that kind of watched the closest. He's one that just kind of seems to be the last one up, one of the last ones up to feed pretty regularly, but he's here. Otherwise, looking pretty good. But see y'all again tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a little muddy. My little gate getter. But fast forward now, it's Sunday afternoon, and you'll be able to see, look at the ground and tell we got some rain. A very little bit of rain. It was disappointing looking at the radar. It looked like we were going to get a short enough good rain. I think some places did, but here we just got maybe 1/10 of an inch, maybe a little better. So I'm thankful for what we did get. Just certainly we're hoping for a little more. May have been just enough, but probably not quite to really get that fertilizer in the ground. The good news, we do have a chance of rain for the end of this week again, like 3 or 4 days in a row. So I think starting like on Thursday. But Kimber and I kind of got some garden waste, a bunch of cabbage and some Brussels sprouts and whatnot that we're gonna bring out here to the cows, see how they'll eat it. But another example of how cows are actually upcyclers when it comes to you know, their benefits for the environment, taking basically our waste, you know, parts of the plants we couldn't eat, and some plants that just got kind of eaten up by the worms. And then they'll be able to actually, you know, utilize it. There was actually a tag off the cabbage there. Don't want the plastic waste out here. Actually utilize it, you know, turn it into, you know, food that is valuable to us in the form of beef. And then, you know, what they don't utilize, will go right through them and be right back in the soil in the form of manure. So it's another way that beef is truly sustainable, despite what you know, some people with an agenda online and whatnot may try to tell you. Oh yeah, eat that up, girls. Yeah, working on cabbages and Brussels sprouts. So now you may be able to appreciate it through here. The swarm of the cows really going after all that vegetable waste. But, oh, a productive weekend. Wasn't without a few obstacles, like always. You have to tune back in on our next video. Hopefully, maybe just by the next one or the next couple. See if we get that tractor problem completely diagnosed and corrected. But I'll probably wrap it up for this one. We, yeah, wished it had rained a little more, but that's okay. We got some. We're thankful for it. We'll be looking to get a little more at the end of this week. And what do we say at the end of the video?
Eat beef and God bless.
Y'all have a good one.